Yo, better than the mic, it's the Krewe FC, the round table where the real heads be. Talking NFL, the game we adore, but from the touchdown to the legends, it's so much more. That booking guy, he's got the stats on lock, dropping knowledge on the field, watching every block. Back and bleeding green, cheering loud and proud. In the sea of cheese, as he's standing out the crowd. I can't hear T with the looks and the smarts, breaking down the plays, and he does it with heart. Then the stout, solid like the line. His takes are heavy, his vision's divine. Week by week, we break the game down. From every big play to every new crown. Offense, defense, we cover it all. From the springtime drafts to the winner's last call. It's not just a podcast, it's a fan's lifeline. Connecting every moment from the vines to the shine.
Oh, good morning. Good morning. What's up, Andy? I didn't think you were going to make it, my man. How you doing today?
I told you I was running a little bit late. I'm doing mediocre at best.
Right on.
You?
Yeah.
How you doing?
I was sweating. I'm all right. I'm got a new dog in the house, so it's been chaotic. But Bruce needed a playmate, so it is what it is, man. How are things down there? Weather good? I know you guys got some bad storms, ain't it?
Uh-huh. I have not had the opportunity to peek out the window yet. So, although it wouldn't necessarily surprise me, we get storms around here all the time.
Yeah.
Little 10-minute thing, 15 minutes and it's done. So,
right on. So, we haven't had much time to pregame, if you will, but we had some big things for Pick Six last week. Before you really get into anything else, I think we should start off with that. We had one blackjack outside of the actual crew. Lovell did it again, hit blackjack his first week playing again this year, did it last year for like 3 weeks in a row. So,
wow.
Fairly impressive if you ask me. I mean, you killed it, dude. What did you end up with? Let's see the total here.
I think
4 points.
I think I was 8-0.
4 total points. But hey, man, we all have that day.
Whoa. This isn't like golf?
We did have 2 blackjacks in the group. Can you guess who they were?
Sure heck wasn't me.
It was me.
I don't think anybody on this show actually would have that. And if they did, they were lying through their teeth.
Yeah, it was me, man. It was me and Brian both had blackjack. Stout actually pulled 16 out of nowhere. Not sure where that came from, but we do have a guest that's going to be coming on today. He's going to talk about what happened Thursday night. Unfortunately, Brian's not going to make it today.
I just seen that. That there was a high school game on Thursday.
Some would think. But anyway, we got Sean from Washington Football Weekly backstage. If he's ready to come on, I want to bring him on, all right?
No.
Too bad.
High school game? Really? A high school game?
I was giving the benefit of the doubt. I was going to say junior high. 7th grade junior high.
Oh, God.
How you doing, Sean?
Oh, I've recovered. My Tar Heels, even though they beat Richmond, still got the win. But this was rough. I'm not going to lie. This was rough. First and foremost, okay, I see Stout is not in the building. I wanted to talk to him about how he likes his player now being in the green and the green and the yellow. But
you'll have time. You'll have time. He's running late, so he'll be on. But,
honestly, from what I saw, only 2 weeks in, that defense is the truth. I mean, not just obviously Micah Parsons, but then you got Quay Walker. Them boys were all over the place. And it was crazy because there was times when I saw when you kind of camera panned at JD5, and every other time the camera panned at him, even in that Hail Mary game, buddy, he looked calm all the way through. In this game, there were certain times where you saw his face and you were like, ooh, he looks a little nervous there. That rush is kind of getting to him. Pulling it down after one read and then starting to run, and that defense just sitting back there with a spy, and it's like, oh, this could be telling. It should be interesting, but feel a lot better today than I did Thursday.
He looked sophomore. I said that on your chat. He really looked like someone that is still learning his position. Not that he's not a great quarterback. He's going to be outstanding.
Right.
Look like he's still learning that progression. He's always been, I said it to you last year, kind of like Robert Griffin. I know that's a bad word, but he's always been the best athlete on the field, right?
Yeah.
But they've caught up with him. They know his tendencies, kind of like Caleb Williams in Chicago. They all know Caleb Williams is going to drop back, look left, look right, roll right. It's what it is. That's what he does. He doesn't complete the progression. Daniels is making the progressions, but he's still not confident, I don't think. And it might be your lack of receiving core at this time. I mean, you guys were what? Scary Terry and Ertz? I mean, Debo, I thought, was playing pulling guard. He was blocking more than he was receiving passes.
Well, yeah, and the thing is, I don't know if that was an effort for them to try to get the ball more to Terry, because if you looked in that first game, Terry was non-existent. You know, they tried to get it to him 1 or 2, like 2 or 3 targets, and it didn't work out. So I think they were trying to make conservative effort to get it to Terry a little bit more. But to your point, yeah, it was really kind of check down a running back. Like it really felt like he got sped up. And it happened a year ago when we played the Browns, where they put a spy on him and they blitzed him on rundowns. They kind of forced him to use his legs, and then kind of, wherever he went, they had somebody waiting on him. So I think that was kind of the game plan that they had. But to your point, unfortunately, we saw what happened to Eckler. He tore his Achilles. He's out for the season. So that was our run game. And I can't even really say that was our run game, because Eckler only got like 12 yards even before that. Like, they were trying to run him up the middle, and that's just not Eckler's thing. I think, and a lot of Washington fans ain't gonna like to hear this, but I think we were a little too quick on getting rid of B-Rob. We got 3 or 4 other running backs, and then they got the rookie in here, and I know what they're trying to do. But one of the things we learned last year is that if you can't run the ball, that is when JD5 feels like he has to take it on himself. Almost similar to Caleb. One read not there, one read not there. Okay, now I got to go back to USC where I'm running all over the place. It's like, no, calm down. Keep looking downfield. Check down. You can throw the ball away and live to see another down. But I think the same thing with both those guys. These young quarterbacks are like so used to putting it all on my shoulders. I got to do it. I got to make the game-winning play right now. And it's like, pump your brakes. Long season. If you don't get it this time, you'll get it next time. Don't worry about it. But let's work on getting through those progressions. Let's work on sitting in the pocket. Let's work on, dedicating a lot of time to the run. I think we kind of lacked an identity, and the injury didn't help that.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you said it's going to be a long season, because we're going to bring on someone you've been wanting to talk to. So
roll. The sky is no longer falling, it's crashing down. The sky is no longer falling, it's crashing down. The sky is no longer falling, it's crashing down. Roll, roll.
Mike, glad you could make it, baby.
Hey, Mike. Micah Parsons still looks good. Just to let you know,
he does.
Worth every penny.
He did a good job by beating the NFC East team, so we're good.
Yeah. He knows how to do this. He's familiar with us.
So, anyway, that's your breakdown. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I popped in the studio. I've been waiting to play him the new video we got for him. So you're right. I mean, it almost looked like they were scheming to get McLaurin the ball. Like they were force feeding. Once Green Bay adjusted to that, you would think they would have worked the other receivers in. Zach Ertz had a good game, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he wasn't bad.
Well, and that's the thing. We could always get it to Ertz. He's the state security blanket. But at this time in Ertz's life, this isn't Philadelphia. You know what I mean? Where he could separate, where him and Goddard were the best tight end tandem in the East for sure, but almost probably in the league. Nowadays, Ertz is the possession receiver. He can get a couple possessions. Shout out to him in the red zone. That's where he thrives. But he's not separating from anybody. So we can get those quick passes to him, but when you get those speedy defenders, they're going to bring him down quick. So it was kind of confusing at times. And I think to your point, we don't have many weapons outside of Terry and Debo. I mean, Ertz is solid, but people ain't scared of him. Eckler was solid in space, but people aren't scared. Well, he's hurt, so obviously people ain't scared of him now. But after you go Debo and Terry, you have Chris Moore, Luke McCaffrey. You know what I mean? The rookie Jalen Lane. I mean, none of these guys are. I mean, we don't have what you guys have. Just a embarrassment of riches over there in Tampa with all those different receivers. We have our main two guys, one of which has not practiced this entire offseason, and it basically just came in the first week. And defense. I mean, if you have a good scheme, if you can sit back in that zone, you know, everybody knows don't go man to man against us, because once you get those corners to turn their backs, Jaden sees that and runs. You go zone, keep everything in front of you, and force Jaden to beat you with his arm. He can do it if he's calmed down and, you know, everything else is working. But, I mean, no running game. That begot 5 and 16 on third downs. We can't stay on the field, sustain a drive. That defense helped with a lot of that. But then, I mean, we haven't even talked about our defense, who was, I mean, made Jordan Love. I mean, Jordan Love is legit, but it made him look a lot better.
Yeah, it's 27 points isn't a lot in this league.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So they didn't do terribly, but it's.
But I don't think the final score is indicative of how the game looked. I think we scored a little bit late, but Lattimore, first and foremost, any of y'all want him? Because I'm done with him. I was done with him last year, but I'm done with him now.
It was great to see him get him, seeing him get beat by number 13 again. Like Meeks had him all game. It was unbelievable. Made a name for himself.
But, yeah, that was embarrassing.
Going forward, how you guys looking? You still think you're in the running for the NFC, or you think it's one of those years where it's already turned into Cowboys Nation over there in Washington? Sky's falling.
Well, we already know the Cowboys are calling Super Bowl. So, I mean, as long as Jerry's there, I think we're good. But I'm going to be honest with you. It's the Eagles and the rest of us three. I picked us to go 10-7. You know, I thought, like you, that JD was going to have a sophomore slump, but not necessarily a slump as much as, A, the league has kind of found him out, and B, we went to the NFC Championship with a team that was definitely not that caliber, and the Eagles showed it in the championship game. We've made a couple improvements, but we still have to mesh and play together. So going through I think it's going to be a little bit more difficult. We have to find and be able to sustain a run game. And if we're not able to do that, then, you know, that keeps our defense on the field a little longer. And, you know, some of those guys on D, you know, Von Miller, Wagner, Lattimore, these are older dudes, you know, and them in their prime shut down. They're legit right now. Not saying they're falling off completely, but there were some signs of age that showed in that game.
Right on.
So
we'll
see.
We do have some other games in the East we can go into, or if Andy's ready, we can jump up north. Are you wanting to stay the whole show, Sean? You got something you got to do, or you? I'm good for probably about 15 more minutes. I gotta open it up. I know you do. I appreciate you.
So, but yeah, I'll stick it for a little bit.
Right on. Stout, are you ready and prepared, or we need to go north?
I didn't do my homework.
We know.
No, but I mean, we can. I can take care of it. It won't be that bad. Because the sky is lifting now. It's not falling. It's lifting. I don't know if you saw that at the bottom right there. It's lifting a little bit. We're still gonna finish third, so we got that. But we
got the G-men today.
Yeah, we get to play our bottom team, the Giants, and see how well that goes. So injury report wise for Dallas, I know I put it on our little chat that, you know, Bland's out and signs a contract, and he'll be out with the foot injury for at least 2 more weeks. I'm hoping he's back for Green Bay in week 4, but I don't see it happening for us. So, I mean, Diggs held at Brown last week to low numbers. I'm hoping that it'll happen this week with Neighbors, that he can stay with him. But again, if we play like we did last week, I think, you know, playing the Giants, we'll be all right with this win. And the Giants injury report I mean, I'm looking at it now, and I think it's the same. Thomas is out. He's doubtful to play.
Right.
Their backup tackles doubtful, and they have a linebacker that's out. So
yeah, that's a big key for you with Thomas being doubtful. If Micah's a go today, you guys got a chance at hitting that edge pretty hard.
yeah, we'll be fine. We're one edge player away from winning the Super Bowl.
Right. But seriously, with Russell knowing the Cowboys fairly well, I mean, does that bother you with the veteran presence back there for the Giants, or is it just back to regular season Russ already? Like, there's nothing special anymore, is there? Is there any magic left in Russ?
I think there's a little bit left, but I mean, again, look where he's at. There's not much. I mean, he's got one wide receiver to throw to.
Yep.
I mean, as Sean was saying earlier about having, Terry and Debo, I mean, at least they got more weapons than the Giants. I mean, there really isn't that much there. I mean, the Giants only have Neighbors, and their running game doesn't seem to be going because of their offensive line. And that was a key with me for a while last year. If they would have bulked up their offensive line, I think they'd be a lot better. But they decided to go other routes with things. So, again, I think with what Dallas showed with running wise last week against Philadelphia, offensively, I think we'll be all right. I think there'll be a lot of running. I think, again, like I said, Javonte Williams, I think, got a new life coming to Dallas. It showed against the Eagles.
Carolina.
Yeah. And that was one pickup that I was happy about, because I really did think that he'd give a little bit of extra, especially when Rico left and he thought he'd, do better in Carolina, I guess. That hasn't worked out for him. It's what's the difference between having a good offensive line and having not really so good offensive line. But
it's always one in the trenches. I mean, I got two big old linemen on the show with me. I mean, you guys know more than most how tough it actually is inside on the line of scrimmage, and how smart you actually have to be an offensive lineman. I mean, a lot of people, it's just a bunch of dumb big men in there, and it's not. I mean, offensive linemen, honestly, are some of the smartest players on the field.
The smartest players on the field.
I said some of.
Yeah.
And especially when you're a center, you're the smartest one on the field, right, Andy? We're the smartest ones on the field.
For sake of argument,
you got lucky. You got two of us here.
Hey, real quick, because I saw some TikTok about that. They were talking about the smartest player to the dumbest player, and the running back was supposedly the dumbest player. I don't like that. As a former running back, I was intelligent in my own. I gave my credit to my own life.
How smart can you be to choose to run the ball into people that are trying to take your head off?
I gave my credit to my own lineman. That's how smart I was.
Oh, smart.
There you go. There you go. But yeah, so with this Dallas game, I mean, again, I think we're at home, which you know how I am about home games. We're not really a home team kind of team. We don't play at our best when we're at home for some reason. But I think Dallas wins this by a good 10 points this week. And to get on with the whole trade Micah and to Green Bay, Dallas just signed Tyler Smith. I tried to post it, but somebody got to it before I did. They re-signed him. So in the past since we signed Micah, we have signed two people to long-term deals, basically. So we got that sewn up for a while. And especially I'm happy about the Tyler Smith, because he's been a dog inside the trenches there at guard now that when they moved him. So I'm kind of happy about that with that move. And, like I told Brian, good for him, but we'll see week 4. See what happens. I hope he lines over Gooten and Gooten slaps him in the head, and then he gets fined again like he just got done fined for slapping last week. So
you got one more game in the East. Super Bowl rematch.
Who is that? I don't even know who that is.
What are you guys feeling about this game? Do you think it's gonna be the rematch that everyone's wanting, or do you think the Eagles run ruckshaw over the Chiefs? I don't see it going the other way. I don't see the Chiefs dominating the Eagles, in my opinion. I don't think that's a scenario that we're going to see or even have the opportunity to even fathom. You know what I mean? I think Philly might just put 20 on them and just run away.
is AJ Brown going to play, or is he on the sideline reading his books?
Yeah.
That depends, because if he ain't doing much, because didn't you say you shut him down in week 1, Stout? Because it was Devontae Smith that was getting out there. So I mean, I'm not saying he's falling off or anything like that, but he's had some games where it's kind of like, are you focused on football? But if he I think with Saquon, they got that.
I think the only way, really, if the Chiefs do end up having the chances, is if they look at the tape of what Dallas did against them and run the ball. If they run the ball against the Eagles, they'll have a chance. Again, you know, we go back to week 1 that we lost that game because we can't catch the ball and we fumbled it. So I think if the way the Chiefs, I think the Eagles with them running with Barkley, I mean, we held him and they still won. So I think the Chiefs for the Chiefs to actually win, they're going to have to run the ball and then stop the run is what they're going to have to do to win the game. So, but I don't see that happening. I think the Eagles end up beating the Chiefs again. It seems like Travis Kelce is too worried about his marriage instead of running routes and injuring his players, which, you know, he ran into Xavier Worthy because he ran the wrong route. Maybe he was too busy looking up at the box to see his fiance up in the box. I don't know.
Yep.
Singing one of her songs while he's out there. I don't know what he's doing, but he ran the wrong route.
Anyway.
Yeah, he ran the wrong route.
So if you had a guess and over under on this score, what are you guys looking at? Because I'm doubting it hits 40. I don't think this game comes close to 40. I think Philly grounds the crap out of the ball, forcing a low scoring game.
I think they'll hit 40. I'll take the over.
Yeah. I could see something like a 27-24 ball game or 27-21. So I say I take the over.
How about you, Andy? What are you thinking here? You're quiet today, brother.
Oh, I'm just waiting for the B teams to be done.
Oh!
We're back talking about football.
Right.
The B team's always done. The Bears are always done. I don't know what you're talking about.
B teams are always done. Chances are you have a Philadelphia team that's going to be coming in, even with a little bit of a chip, because you're playing a team that you just beat up in the Super Bowl and stuff like that. So I definitely see that anytime you play a rival like that, it's got to be, certainly going to be a plus on Philadelphia. It's like when the Cowboys play, the Redskins, for example. It doesn't matter if both teams are having an off year; they always tend to actually do very, very well against each other. The game always tends to be better. So,
yeah. Usually,
so I see Philadelphia actually pulling this one out. It'll probably be a little bit of a lopsided score, not great. Like 8.5 point type of a victory kind of a thing. Where it's going to be more than a touchdown, less than 10.
Yeah, I was thinking around 2013, 2010, somewhere in there. I really think that 20 is the number that they need to get to. Whoever gets 21st wins this game, and I really think it's going to be Philadelphia running the ball. I'm not a professional. I just am giving you thinking.
And then you got Carter coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Carter coming back. Hopefully he'll get antagonized and spit on somebody else.
Real quick. Your boy, Dak did spit. Can we agree that Dak did spit?
Oh, I know he did, but if you come back to it, Carter was talking crap to one of our rookie old linemen, and
that's what I heard.
Dak kind of like spit and then went to go say, he looked up and like saw Carter there, and then he just started laughing. So it doesn't look like he didn't purposely spit towards him. It's just, guys spit all the time, and Carter took exception to it. I'm like, even if he did do it on purpose, he took the bait.
Yeah,
you don't take the bait. You're already 3 yards on the other side of the ball. What are you doing over there?
Yeah.
So it wasn't like they were like by the line of scrimmage. He was like almost in their huddle. So at that point, you're on your own. At that point, whatever happens, especially with the Dak actually sticking up for his lineman, which was kind of impressive. So
Dak did something smart. He actually played well that whole game. It really shocked me.
Yeah, I think that injury, like I said, the past couple of years he's been injured, and I'm hoping that surgery takes. And I mean, he looks good, like I said. But we'll see. We'll see in a couple weeks when we actually, see what happens.
See that.
So
well, Sean, I know you really got to get to Get to your blessings, my
Yes.
man.
Appreciate you
I-
guys.
I appreciate
that
you.
so
Thank you for having Brian on this past week. He had a blast.
Absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely.
You guys had a great show. Washington Football Weekly. Sean, why don't you tell us what other shows you got going on and where we can find you, and we'll let you out of here.
Yeah, so we're back. We're back. Let's talk football with me and my fellow Dallas Cowboys fan. So I'm gonna hopefully y'all get a dub or whatnot. I actually hope y'all lose so I can get on her a little bit this week. The roundtable is back with our guys Anthony Handy, Nicholas Rosario, Delilah Crespo, and Tina Winters. The ladies show is back. Nicole, Delilah, Janae, and Kate, and our college shows are back. We're back all the way right now. Just ready to talk some football and get going. And shout out to Brian Robinson coming on the show. And it took us all the way through to the end of the show till we realized, did we just get B-Rob back? Did B-Rob come back to it? So shout out to him. He was great. Definitely. We hope to see him a little bit later in the season, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to that Chicago Bears game. So I Candy Andy, if you want to come on the show that week, we can definitely wrap it up. I got my buddy from Chicago that's coming out here. This is a Monday night game. And Stout, you're always welcome. You're always welcome.
If you guys finally want a good-looking, intelligent person on the show, let me know.
I can dig it.
By the way, before you go, real quick, UCF over the Tar Heels next week.
Oh, yeah.
6, maybe 7 touchdowns.
As long as they're not TCU, dear God. Tar Heel Nation. Hey, you guys are great, man. I'll be watching from the pews. All right.
Thanks, Sean.
All right, guys.
Take it easy. Man. That was Sean Spencer, Washington Football Weekly. Let's talk football. He's got a bunch of other shows he does. He does really great work. Fun conversation with him as always. Love having him on. Let's get into some other stuff in the NFC. We got some games going on in the NFC North, no?
Just one.
Just one.
What you got, Andy?
If we want to kind of get into and I even actually mentioned this, I actually sent, a tale of two, a team of two halves, really. So the first half, the Chicago Bears actually came out, and I don't know if it was necessarily one of those things where you have coaches and the majority of the teams, their first 5, 10, 15, 20 plays are actually going to be scripted. They want to see just how things are kind of sort of playing out. And so the first half of the Bears were actually very, very good. You had Caleb Williams, who was doing weird things, who was actually working through his progressions and actually finding open receivers. And if he had to kind of move around, kind of make the adjustment to be able to actually get out from behind a crumbling line, which in the first half was not often. You actually had him rolling out, still being able to find or at least making positive yardage. Bears running game was actually effective. You had the tight ends that were actually effective. You had receivers that, for the most part, were effective. Going into halftime, everything looked hunky-dory. The Bears were up by, a touchdown or so, whatever the case was. And then the second half happened, and then, that's where I'm going to go ahead and end my part of the show.
What happened?
Unfortunately, what ended up happening was the adjustments that the Vikings actually ended up doing. First and foremost, number one, be aggressive. Be aggressive. And you see how when the Bears were hitting the mouth, unfortunately, they just did not stand up and actually present a solid front against that. Your running game essentially were crumbling. You have that similar like the Bears with the 46 defense back in the day. You always had that one extra Viking that actually had almost a completely free reign to get into the backfield, which did several things. Caleb Williams was getting happy feet. Running game became ineffective. The blocking became very, very suspect. And then you had passes that were going errant. He wasn't setting his feet. He was actually doing things that he didn't simply do in the first half. And then you had apparently some sort of a weird made-up play, impromptu play, where he had the opportunity to actually hit DJ Moore actually in the towards the end zone. That was just an absolute debacle, and you see how the Bears ended up finishing out that game, unfortunately on the losing end. But There's several things. Number one, Gordon is actually out with a hamstring in today's game versus Detroit. Defensive tackle Jarrett, questionable, bit of a knee thing. Walker, wide receiver, ankle injury, I think would probably affect the Bears a little bit more in the fact that some of the practices, things like that, you actually had him as not necessarily the main focal point, but you did have him, adding a few extra plays here and there, and I think he actually may have actually uh, kind of sort of would have kind of gotten a few extra catches from Caleb Williams that would have actually possibly did very well for the Bears this week. Let's see. Some of the offensive situational Caleb Williams, of course, like I said, inconsistency, especially in the second half. You had a couple of things that were going on that I was actually reading some of the Bears posts and things like that, or posts from fan pages. Clock clock management from the coaching staff. You had your adjustments that were just abysmal. They were just absolutely not even there. When the aggressiveness level actually tuned up a little bit, the Bears did not answer, and that was on all aspects, including special teams. So I actually had texted a friend, as a matter of fact. I was like, okay, so the offense sucks. The defense is sucking. And now you have special teams who just allowed a player to basically go in and just block the kick, the field goal attempt or the punt attempt.
Yeah.
That's all three aspects. And then if you actually kick in the coaching, all four aspects. Very, very upsetting. I'm paraphrasing because I was using different type of verbiage.
Yeah, you're good. So you're going into Detroit. Detroit didn't look great. Let's be honest. They didn't look that stellar. Their defense is definitely a shell of what it was. Their offense is still trying to find its way without your head coach, Ben Johnson. My question here is how do you see this game unfolding? I mean, if Aiden Hutchinson finally decides he's going to play ball, Caleb's going to have to figure it out on the fly. Am I wrong? I mean, where do you go from here in Chicago?
Actually, if you actually break it down per half, you can't go anywhere but just marginally up in the first half. Second half, you can there's room for improvement. So and it also depends. Now it's similar to like I was mentioning before with Washington and Dallas. Doesn't necessarily matter if you're having an off season. They always play each other very, very well, and especially when you're in a division game, and that's basically what the story is here. Being a division game, you actually have several things to prove. First off, you want to be able to actually win your division, or at least set yourself up to be able to make a playoff run. You actually have the pride of having your coach actually leave your team to go to a rival team. So there's of course that little bit of a pressure, and then of course you have the idea that Ben Johnson is an offensive juggernaut in mind that should be able to put up 30 points each and every game. He possibly could, and the Bears possibly will in the future. However, right now, you still have to keep in mind that this offense is just a few months old. The wide receivers, of course, they're still not necessarily on the same page as Caleb Williams. The tight ends, of course, they actually get the ball considerably more than a lot of other teams may. They're a little bit more on that page, but you have to actually run that ball, and especially against Detroit. So what's one of the easiest ways to be able to negate an Aiden Hutchinson who has actually come zipping through that end? You get a very, very simple, quick little run, A, B gap, something like that, that's going to give yourself 3 to 5 yards each and every time. That's, of course, going to keep him from actually, busting through, and then naturally you get one of those things where you're going to get 8, 10, 15, 20 yards. That could be a screenplay, that could be a bootleg, whatever the case might be, some sort of a delay. So, the Bears want to be able to win. They're going to have to do a couple of things. Make sure that they run the ball effectively, make sure that they can actually stay above the sticks for sure, because they actually had that problem last week, especially in the second half, where you had 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. They just have to be able to eliminate some of those 3 and outs. One less, a field goal, whichever the case is. Yeah, don't even get me started on the field goal. But time management was one of those things as well. Cairo Santos, everybody, of course, was kind of jumping on the bandwagon about him not having a strong leg. So it's just everything was just compiling on all in one lump sum. So the Bears want to win, throw the ball, stay in the positives. Make sure that your aggression level matches what you're actually going against, and then of course you just score more. That's just all it is to it.
Yeah, I think your counter punch or your match aggressiveness, whatever you want to call it, is lacking because he doesn't have that experience yet, right? Ben Johnson, first-year head coach, so used to just calling the offense. He makes great adjustments offensively for the most part. We didn't see it last week. Now, is that because he's just still trying to find his way, or maybe they just didn't have an answer? Maybe they don't have the confidence that he had in, let's say, a Jared Goff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe they got to grow that maturity. Offense gels a lot later in the year than the defense does. Defense is more of a savage mentality, see ball, get ball. Whereas offense is you're setting stuff up, you're playing chess, you're playing checkers, you're trying to, in the words of Hank Stram, matriculate the ball down the field. I mean, that takes time to get that cohesion and,
that's exactly it. So there was a couple things. Number one, I think their adjustments could have been a little bit better on the adjustment side, just simply because you've seen that, especially if you've seen that Caleb Williams was actually struggling the first two or three possessions, and three and out. That's when you really should have actually said, okay, let's run the ball more, let's tight ends more, let's make sure that we get him into a rhythm, dump to a tight end, whichever the case is. If you get him in a rhythm, because he's like everybody else in the NFL, and him in particular, he's a very, very, once you get him going, if you can get him one or two that he feels confidence with, next thing you know, his confidence goes through the roof, and now he's going to start gunslinging it. And in his particular case, he tends to he's probably like a 60-40 split, 55-45 split on, being on a positive gunslinger type of a mentality. To where he's actually, I think he's marginally better if he does that, to where he's running around and trying to make plays happen. But with that being said, I think the Bears, their adjustments could have and should have been a little bit better in the fact that you see that aggressiveness, you want to be able to somehow try to negate that. And if that's short, quick passes, if that's running the ball, whatever the case is, let's get her done. One of those type of things. And so I think the play calls need to adjust to whatever the defense is throwing at you, even if it's just one. So,
right on. Go ahead, Mike.
I really think with this game between the Bears and the Lions, it's with the way Dan Campbell does things. It was already going to be, Ben Johnson's coming back. It's already going to be hyped up. He's going to hype up the players. But then with them losing last week, I think this is going to be more of I think you'll see a different Lions team this week just because of those two facts. I think with the Ben Johnson coming back was going to be big enough, but I think with them losing last week, it was more of an issue this week for the Bears. And there was a couple plays during the Bears second half that kind of bothered me with Caleb Williams of why he didn't run. He had a chance to go and get a first down and he stayed in the pocket. I don't understand. Like, I understand some of these guys want to be pocket passers, but at the same point, these guys are fast enough. There's not really any. I don't think any more true stay in the pocket quarterbacks anymore.
I think
there's a lot more we're into now. We have mobile quarterbacks, and I think if he would have ran more, I think that game would have turned out differently. But again, I just think with last week, if he would have ran more when he had the chance to, I think that game comes out a little bit, because when I was looking at it, you guys were only up 4 points at half, and then you score an opening drive. It was 10. Yep. It was 10-3 at half, and then it was the fourth quarter that killed you guys. It was like the endurance, everything just went out the window with the Bears. And I know it's a first-time game, but there was up until the third quarter, the Bears looked like a good team until the end of the third quarter, and it was like, why didn't you run there? You had a first down. Why not run?
And so let me actually take that second part first. So from what I remember reading on a couple of the posts and stuff like that, is kind of what was mentioned before, trust the process, trust the process. Well, that process is one of those things where you have to look downfield to your second, third, even fourth progression. You're not going to necessarily one of two things. Number one, have the time to run, but maybe I think, and what I believe personally is Johnson is actually telling Williams, trust the process. Don't run until absolutely necessary because so and so is always going to be either open or they have the opportunity to actually come back to the ball to be open. So, and then secondly, I think the Bears would have just as much, if not more, to prove for a couple of things. Number one, that they went out and spent all this money, that they went, all of these draft picks, that the effort that they put in to be able to create this team. And granted, again, it's still one of those things where you only have just a few months in of this particular offense, of this particular, unit and things like that. You still need to be able to actually show, flashes to where you can show that you can be competitive with teams all four quarters. And with the potential for, trick plays and stuff like that to be able to get the Bears on the board, the defense, of course, having to keep the Detroit offense out. I think there's going to be one of those things where the Bears have as much, if not more, to prove, just simply because now you're the conquering hero, that's actually coming home. And so now you have to be able to prove to them, that maybe, just maybe, you should have got rid of Campbell and installed me as the coach. Who knows what the thought process is there. So I think overall, it's going to probably end up being a good game, and I'm hoping that the Bears are going to win by at least a field goal.
Well, that's the most realistic take I've heard you have in like 5 years.
Forever, yes.
That
And that's pretty
insane.
good.
I was waiting for the 45-5.
Over the 21 points that they're going to be ahead.
But,
There's one more.
Here's what's going to happen. The Bears are going to lose to two ex-Michigan players 2 weeks in a row. So we can move on.
So,
they're going to lose
such a mediocre school. I don't get it.
we got another game in the NFC North that actually transitions to the South. We got the Minnesota Vikings and the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons are coming pretty healthy. Penix had a decent game against the Bucs. Looked really good in the pocket. Got out and ran the ball when he should have and when he was supposed to. Should have won that game possibly if Koo makes that kick. But again, Bucs left a lot of points on the field as well. Minnesota is out 2 linebackers and Darisaw, their offensive tackles, out. Not sure McCarthy has the firepower to beat the Falcons. I don't like the Falcons. Don't want the Falcons to win. I think this ball is falling to the Falcons. Where stand you?
Yeah, no, absolutely, Falcons. So Minnesota, of course, one of the things with the them being as aggressive as they were is they did have a few players that actually came up with some major bumps and bruises, and major bumps and bruises. And you're absolutely right in the fact that if without Jefferson, JJ McCarthy does not have that firepower, and he's not going to be able to keep running the ball to where, he's going to end up getting. Well, you remember even with Justin Fields, with the Bears, he would run the ball and he would get absolutely blasted. I don't necessarily think JJ McCarthy has that wherewithal to be able to withstand that much punishment throughout the course of the season. So, with any luck, especially in consideration of the revenge from last week, let's go Falcons.
Stout, where you stand on this? I know you got a little skin in the game with McCarthy at quarterback, but
I think I get that they got the injuries. Jefferson's playing. I know the offensive tackle thing hurts them, but I think I'm going to take the Vikings on this one. And I'll do it later too. But I think they end up winning. The Vikings are at home. Atlanta's got to come up, and I believe Atlanta, didn't they tell Koo or whatever he's done, or he's not.
Now they not sure he's gone just yet. I know they brought some competition in. But you look at week 1, look at all the missed kicks. There was a ton of missed kicks. Yeah. I think it was something like 5 or 6 in the first week of the season.
Yeah. So
Koo's a good kicker.
It's showing them out right now.
Yeah.
So I don't know who's got Atlanta kicking for him, but I guess that's not like a huge part of the game. But I see what happened last week with JJ's first start. The thing is, he's set up there with the weapons that he has. They run the ball pretty well. It looks like Mason's going to be like their starting running back, and Jones will fill in on the passing downs. But again, people had a hard time covering Jones, and then making the throws. I think with the Vikings being at home and the Falcons coming up, even though they did look good, I still take the Vikings over the Falcons this game. So,
well, I'm glad you mentioned Jones, because we really got to talk about the game of the week here. Brian's going to pop in for a little bit, but let's talk about this game right here. The game of the week, quarterbacks of quarterbacks. We've got Spencer Rattler against Mac Jones. What do you guys feel about this game? What's up, Brian?
Boy, I came in on this.
It's a crap for crap. Here we go.
Wow.
So
that game right there, Spencer Rattler versus Mac Jones, that looks like a nap to me.
That looks like the time you go grocery shopping for Monday Night Football, right? I mean, that's what we got going there.
It's like watching a Packers game, completely useless.
Brian, you there, man? I mean,
I'm still here. Yeah, I'm just making sure this light turns green. But yeah.
Oh, we can hear the signal.
Yeah, at least you followed the law. Thank you, sir. But,
Yes. No, this game's a snooze fest. But here's the thing, though. I've been hearing a lot about this. Was what if Mac Jones plays well? Do you now actually crown Kyle Shanahan the official quarterback whisperer?
I mean, BA's gone, so I think he is, right? I mean, we just talked about non-mobile quarterbacks not really being in the league anymore, and in comes Mac Jones. I mean, he's fast and he can move, but he's not a quarterback for this day and age of football.
No, not at all.
I think we're on somebody's car speakers.
Yeah, we're good.
It's funny because he doesn't realize that whenever he makes any sort of movement, we hear it dramatically through our speakers.
It's all good. He's got.
I'm actually not. I'm actually on Bluetooth, so
no, he's getting that grub before his show. Reached over, got that McDonald's sausage, egg, and cheese going. It's okay. It's okay.
Cultured by, good Lord, man.
So, Brian, I know you only got a couple minutes. Do you have your best bets, or do you want me to do that later in the show?
Oh, I could do the best bets now. I mean, I'm staying on until I get to the venue, which probably by the end of the show I'll be there. So.
Well, right on. Just a second. Let me see if we can pull something up for you. I don't know why my internet's not working right over here. Okay, you lose. You don't get your intro.
That's perfect.
You want Stout to sing it for you?
No.
All right.
No, because he's. Oh, well, I mean, he's still crying over the Parsons thing. I don't want
to. I'm not crying. You're crying.
Yeah. You haven't noticed. Look, the sky is lifting, Brian. The sky is lifting.
Really interesting.
So anyway,
Jerry finally made you happy. That's great.
So seriously, we never.
Anyways, 6-1 last week, gentlemen. On my picks of the 6-1 last week on my picks of the week. If it wasn't for the stupid Giants, I don't know why I even believed in them in the first place. But anyways, looking at this week's slate, there wasn't anything that screamed, "Hey, this is a good opportunity." So I'm making a pretty minor bet, but I'm parlaying it. So I'm taking Bills money line, Ravens money line, and oh crap, I forgot the last one.
Bills money line, Ravens money line, and your Chargers money line.
Yes. So basically, it's paying out at about. I think I looked this morning. It's paid out about plus 137. So that's all I'm going to play this week.
Right on. Solid. You did real well last week. Your breakdown of what you thought or your keys to the game for Green Bay was pretty much on the money. You got Kraft stepping up, your tight ends getting more involved. I mean, you couldn't hit it any better.
It's something I was looking for, honestly, in the game against Detroit, especially was the tight end usage, because I just really feel like Love last year really didn't use the tight ends very well in terms of the passing game. obviously Washington's a formidable opponent. I thought it was going to be a little more of a higher scoring game. I didn't think the defense would come out again like they have. I guess I have to have more faith now. Hafley's got these guys playing just ridiculous defense. So now you got the 10 days off before the next game. Get Micah Parsons even more involved in the defense. This break will help. Hopefully, losing Reed, the wide receiver, that was their the Packers' best receiver option last year. So now I think Matthew Golden has to be the one that steps up. And you drafted him in the first round for a reason. Now let's see what we got.
Yeah. Meeks look good. Ain't that his name? 13. Weeks? Which is it?
Wicks.
That's it. Yeah, he torched Lattimore pretty much the whole game. I was really impressed with his play. Yeah.
It's just the whole thing. Jordan Love's been spreading the ball around and hitting the different receivers. And it was good to see, Jacobs have more success on the ground. And I think that's only going to make Jordan Love's job easier is if they get Jacobs going. So that's what I'm going to look for too, is getting Jacobs more involved in the run game and see what he can do. Because once you establish that run game, Love can do anything, so.
Right on. Well, enough of your talking. We got to get to the most important game of the week, Monday Night Football. Tampa Bay Buccaneers heading to Houston to play the Texans. Not sure how I feel about this game. I said if the Bucs finished the first 4 weeks 2-2, Bucs fans should be happy. I'm going to stand by that. I think this is going to be a fairly close game. Kirk being out at wide receiver for Houston, that makes it a little better for the Buccaneers. Jamel Dean obviously is still going to be playing this week. He just restructured his contract, allowing him to be a free agent at the end of the season. I think the Bucs may try to move him. Don't want to get too much into that. But keep an eye on that. You may see him move before the end of the season, before the trade deadline. Godwin and Wirfs are still out for Tampa. Izzy is questionable. Everything, and Morrison's questionable. Morrison's expected to play. So you might see the debut of the rookie corner out of Notre Dame. My keys to the game for this one for the Bucs to win is Vita Vea, Kalijah Kancey, and Servassier Dennis defensively all have to have a good game. With the center for Houston being unlikely to play, they're going to be on their backup center, and that's a huge task to ask for anyone to go against Vita Vea and Kalijah Kancey. Servassier Dennis has to lock down the tight end, and they got to limit the quarterback's mobility. So I think that's what we're looking for defensively. Offensively, I think we need a big game from Rachaad White. He needs to be involved in the passing game. That may free up more for Bucky Irving to rush the ball, who only averaged 2.6 yards a carry, which is not what we were expecting as a Bucs fan. So that's what I got. Not sure on this game. I'll give my prediction later on in the week or later on in the night, probably closer to Monday morning. Not sure. I feel good about this one, but we'll give it all away later. Sean's sitting there listening to us, getting the Lord's word from us, I guess, today. Nothing wrong with that. Brian, you got time to entertain pick six with us?
Yeah.
Get you out of the way first. All right, let's hit pick six.
I have.
There you go, Stout. We cut it short for you. Brian, 21 last week, blackjack. Way to go. What can you give us this week?
Yeah. I don't have my list in front of me. You're going to have to help me on this one, to be perfectly honest.
So you have the Ravens at 6.
He took the Bears at 6, from what I remember.
I remember that also, yes.
The Cowboys at 5.
That's all.
Giving Stout some love. Green Bay at 4. The Chargers at 3. The Buffalo Bills at 2. And Matt Jones and the Niners holding it down at number 1. Can't change them. You already submitted them. You feel good about
I ain't
those?
changing them.
Right
Yes,
on.
I do.
Right. Well, I guess I'm next since I too hit blackjack.
At least we did our part.
Yeah, I know. I got Bills at 6, Rams at 5, Pats at 4, Ravens at 3, Niners at 2. And like I said, I don't feel good about this one. I got the Buccaneers holding us down at 1. Stout. You ended the week with 16 points thanks to the Kansas City Chiefs and your beloved Dallas Cowboys. What do you got?
Yeah, well, yeah, I gotta take the Cowboys every week, so whatever. I got the Ravens at 6, the Bills at 5, Dallas at 4, Cincy at 3. Again, going with the Minnesota Vikings 2, and number 1, I'm taking the Chargers.
All right, Andy.
What up? I got a question real quick. So Brian said that he went 6-1. It's called a pick 6. Pick 6.5, so 6.3 quarters.
You went 6-1.
Hey, idiot! It was my best bets.
We were
It was your nuts. What?
We were talking about the bets, not pick 6. Ah,
Andy.
Bears taking down the L again.
Anyway, so let's actually talk football here.
You did your part last week with a solid 4.
I beat Andy. I thought I had a crappy week, and I still beat Andy.
Well, yeah, but considering that I was actually picking them as we were talking, I think that's why I ended up picking, like Buffalo 3 times or something. I don't even know. But
You're the one.
Like anyway. I just know that we actually have Buffalo over New York as number 6, just because I think New York Jets. Well,
yeah,
they're like the Packers. They're just not a very good team. I think they're gonna end up losing. Got the Baltimore Ravens over the Cleveland Browns at number 5. I've been kind of up in the air about this one, but I'm gonna go with the Rams over the Titans at 4. I am going to have to pick Dallas because they are playing the Greater New York, New Jersey Giants Jets. So they're going to be my number 3. Here's where it gets kind of interesting. Obviously, I'm going to have to pick the Bears at number 1. But my number 2 is actually kind of interesting because it's kind of like what we were talking about before, like the circle of suck kind of a deal. So you got the New England Patriots at the Miami Dolphins. With both of those teams in flux, I'm going to have to go with the Patriots just over Miami, even though Miami has actually had the Patriots number for the last couple of seasons. But at number 2.
So you got the Patriots over Miami or Miami over the Patriots?
Okay, let's try this again from the beginning until we pay attention. Buffalo Bills over. Yeah, no, we got the Patriots over the Dolphins.
Yeah. Right on. Any closing thoughts from you, gentlemen? We're running out of time.
I got a lot. Dallas loses now since Andy picked them, so there goes that.
Brian, you got anything for us?
Oh, I wish I could be watching football, but I got to entertain the masses today, so.
Copy that. Well, have fun at your show. Andy,
will do.
What do you got for us, sir? Outstanding.
Bird.
Once again, I'd like to thank our wives and families who allow us to come on here 1 hour every weekend.
What's happening there?
To be completed.
Were you asking me a question?
All right, then. You guys have a great day.
As it should be. All Bears, all the time. Let's actually talk about how bad the Packers are.
Welcome to another worthless episode of the Bare Minimum with iCandy Andy.
What's your prediction for the NFC North this year? the Bears.
What are your thoughts on Caleb Williams?